Good morning, Mr. Shaskalsin.
Morning, Chair.
Welcome back and good morning, Mr. Ngwato.
Good morning, Chair. Good morning, Commissioners.
Good morning, Sergeant Nkosi.
Good morning, my honorable commissioners. Good morning.
Let's hope it ends today. Eh?
I'm praying for that to end today.
Thank you, Sergeant.
Thank you, Chair. I'm also praying it ends today, Sergeant.
Please.
No disrespect intended. Sergeant, I want to start today by taking you to a handwritten statement that you gave to the police officers who raided your house in October. And that statement starts on file 3 of the recent statements, of the recent files. And it is at page 1335.
That is at page 1335.
1335.
1135. 1135.
1335. Do you have the statement, Sergeant?
That's correct.
And
You can just wait. I need to get there. Thank you.
And maybe if we can start at page 1342, can you confirm that it's your signature at the end of the statement on 1342?
Yes, I confirm.
And can you tell the Commission the circumstances in which you wrote this statement? Oh, sorry, and is the handwriting your own?
That's correct.
And can you explain to the Commission the circumstances in which you wrote this statement?
Ungachaza isimo ngaphansi kwaso uma uzobhala leso statement.
Ngisesimeni esi-right.
Khulumela phezulu Nkosi.
Ngisesimeni esi-right.
I was in a normal condition.
I don't think that's the question, Sergeant. I think the question is how did you, or rather, what led you to write the statement? I hope I'm understanding correctly, Mr. Shaskalsin.
Kuze kanjani ukuze ubhale leso statement.
Ngamane ngasibhala.
I just wrote it.
We were not given your name. Apologies. Please give me your name.
Good morning, Chairperson and Commissioners. My name is Ephraim. The surname is Seritsane. S-E-R-I-T-S-A-N-E.
Seritsane.
S-E-R-I-T-S-A-N-E. That's what I said.
Mr. Seritsane.
Yes.
We have an arrangement with Sergeant Nkosi that some questions are not difficult at all to understand, and that when he feels that he wants a question interpreted, he will indicate to you. So otherwise, he simply responds to all the questions directly without your intervention.
Thank you, Chairperson.
Thank you very much. But please, he had already responded to the last one. I think so. Oh, can you please repeat the question, Mr. Shaskowski?
Well, the original question was, can you explain the circumstances in which you wrote this affidavit? But the chair's follow-up question was more along the lines of what I was really.
Yes. So during your raid, continue from there.
During the raid, they asked me whether if Mr. Matlala's Luxor card was in my possession. And then I explained to them that it was not. So I felt like I must write the statement with that effect.
So you were not asked to write the statement, you volunteered it.
Obviously, I needed to put that down.
Yes.
I can't say I volunteered. As I'm asked, I need to put that down. I was asked to write it.
And so card, just remind us, that's the FNB bank card belonging to Mr. Matlala that you said was found in a speedboat.
That's correct.
Yes. Mr. Chaskowski.
Sergeant, your statement does deal with the Luxor card. It also deals with a series of other issues. Can I ask you to read the statement into the record?
I would start there in paragraph number 3, or should I start from the paragraph 1 and 2 because of his initially my surname and.
You can start at 3. 3 is where the statement proper begins. You've just identified yourself in 1 and 2.
Pardon?
I'm happy for you to start at 3 because 1 and 2 are just.
Against the police and further tasked me on the job that he got from Parliament, the police minister. But by then it was the minister Pegikele. I was deployed to Musina area during the year 2022, month of September, where there was a community in Bizo that was attended by National Commissioner, General Fani Masemola and Minister Peggy Tele, together with General Sibia. During the said deployed, 3 suspects were arrested at Musina, as per Musina Case 210 of 9/2022 and Musina Case 203 of 9/2022. It was a cash in transit charge and the possession of unlicensed firearm and ammunition. I then became closer with General Sibia as I was a hardworking person, and I confirmed the matter is currently in High Court, pending for trial, and the accused persons are still in custody. During the month of 2024, around January, while I was in the office of General Sibia, I was told by him that he wants me to go and collect someone from downstairs in the security area. The said person was the complainant, according to him. He did not say what was the complaint about. I then went there. On my arrival, I found that it was someone I knew as Mr. Matlala, known to me as a businessman in the security industry, and he also ran some few hospital projects, according to me. I know Mr. Matlala, Cat in bracket, as he used to bike long ago, and I'm still biking, and also know him as he was the main security guard to the late Mr. Jotamon Sibi, known as Mswazi. The last time I saw him before 2024, it was when Mr. Msibi was still alive. Then I saw him again on the day mentioned before above. He then took my numbers again because he told me that he misplaced them. I then passed him with my numbers as I still had his old number, even though I never contacted him or he contacted me. I further taken him to General Sibia, his office, where I left him at his office. But before that, General Sibia told Cat in my presence that if he can't get hold of him on his cell phone, he might be busy on the state meeting. So Mr. Matlala must phone me and would pass the message to him. I then agreed to that, as I did not see any problem, as I know him, referring to Cat as a businessman. I confirmed that time, and again, Cat will phone me or write a message looking for General Sibia, or General Sibia will call me with his phone number looking for Cat. Thinking that I might have seen or heard from him time to time. When General Sibia and Mr. Cat meet, I would not be present, but I would hear from General Sibia that he was with Cat somewhere that I don't know. Most of the time, Mr. Cat, sometimes when he's looking for General Sibia, he would tell me that I must be loyal in my work because he can make things happen for me in terms of getting me promoted to the higher rank, as he got the National Commissioner, Mr. Fani Masemola, and the Deputy National Commissioner, Shadrach Sibia. He further told me that he has won a hospital tender, so that will make him come more often to the office to check everything is okay in terms of the company compliance. During December 2024, General Sibia called me called me to tell me that I must come see him in his office. On my arrival, he told me that I must make a meeting with the General Nkosi of the KZN. He told me that he is worried that him and General Nkosi are not getting along, and this has been happening for a long time. And even Minister Tele knew about it, and he did not do nothing to solve the problem until he went on pension. He further told me that the National Commissioner tried to solve, but with no luck. I then contacted Lieutenant General Nkosi to meet him, and he told me that he does not fight with General Sibia, but General Sibia must be the one telling me what is his problem, and further told me that there was an investigation on particular people, but General Sibia's name keep on coming out. So that might be the reason he keeps on wanting to make peace of the meeting with him, now General Nkosi. I then went back to the office to give feedback to General Sibia. I confirmed that I met with General Nkosi more than once. The reason was I was sent by General Sibia to try to make peace. The reason he tasked me is to that because we talk a lot together with General Nkosi on the phone, but we just talk on general or normal things. I am not sure if it was December or January 2024 or 2025, I was asked by Stembiso Msibi, the son of Jotamu Msibi, to go and collect the jet ski, a scooter dam from Mr. Matlala. I then went there somewhere in Limpopo. As he said, jet ski belonged to his late father, Mr. Mswazi. On my arrival, I found him when I got there. That is Mr. Matlala. Then I took it away, but later on that week, he phoned me telling me he is looking for the card, and a driver's license that he left in the dash of a jet ski. By the time he called me, I was busy. I could not take it to him or let him come to the office as I was not there. He then never called me again on that day. I think after 3 minutes, he called me again telling me that he needs a card agent as he was going to meet with the Deputy President, Paul Mashatile. Then he met, and then he will meet General Sibia after that. I then took pictures of the said card. It was black in color. Then I sent it to his phone. That was the last time I spoke to him on the phone. During the same 2025 or 2024, he called me and told me he lost his cell phone and I must send him numbers of General Shibiri, General Sinona, General Sibia. Then I did send him such numbers without suspecting anything because I know him as a legit businessman, and he confirmed that he won the tender with subs. So I must communicate with everyone. Okay, he must communicate with everyone on the management side. I confirmed that I did not know Mr. Matlala as a criminal. I just know him as a businessman. I was surprised when I received a call from Mr. Likukela Mpho. He was with his friend, Mr. Abi Dikale, whom they told me that there was a kidnapping that occurred where a child was taken and his mother. I then proceeded to the scene. Then I have interviewed the victim, Mr. A.B., whom he told me that he suspects Mr. Matlala, but he did not want to make a statement. I immediately contacted Lieutenant General Sibia to inform him on what happened, on what has happened. Then General Sibia told me he was in Cape Town, but will set up a team to investigate the matter. Indeed, the team was tasked. Then head of investigation was Brigadier Ramangwa. Then the operation was conducted and at Atteridgeville, but the victims were not found. So from that time, the team was busy with the said investigation. When they told me, as I was not part of it, they said it was at advanced stage and arrests are imminent. That is all I can say.
And now, Sergeant, are there any parts of the statement that are not correct that you would want to disavow or correct?
I can't be sure of that, but by the time I was writing this statement, this is what I remembered.
So, and the statement was written on 8 October last year?
That's correct. And it might happen that maybe I might have omitted some important things, but not deliberately because of I was lying, or maybe I wanted to shift something. No, it was maybe an honest mistake if I've omitted.
But as you read it now, is there anything that you would want to add or to correct before I start questioning you about specific details in the statement?
As I just said now, I might add, as you question me, that maybe what was the reason I did not add, or maybe I might not have remembered it.
But as you read it through, there was nothing that you said, and I think I've got this wrong. I got this wrong at the time. That's clearly not what happened. There's nothing that leaps out to you as clearly wrong.
I still stand about what I just said now, that as maybe it goes, I will revert back to the statement and say, no, this I might have omitted. This is what happened.
Well, I mean, if there is anything that is clearly wrong, I'd like you to identify that now before I start asking you specific questions. It's just so that I know what your understanding of the true facts is. I don't want to go down a line if you tell me, you know, what I said in the statement was an error, the mistake, you know, the truth is this.
According to me, I wrote it to the best of my ability, but I don't want to close it as fully so that I must not be seen as someone who's not truthful to the commission.
Sergeant Nkosi, I hope that this will not come out negative, but the second last response you gave sounds like you are hedging, so to speak, hedging your bets, as it were, because you say as we go on, then I may revisit certain parts of the statement. It sounds to me as though you are basically saying if you are asked a question that you may feel puts you in a difficult position, you will then say, actually, what I said in paragraph 9 of the statement is not accurate. And you will only say that upon being faced with a certain situation arising from a question. Am I correct or am I wrong to understand your response to that second last question?
Thank you, Commissioner. I don't know if maybe I will be answering correctly. I'm saying I don't want to say some statements that I wrote here or words are incorrect or are false. I say at that time they were correct. I might have maybe omitted something that I was supposed to write and I did not write it. But for me not to write it, it does not necessarily mean it's a lie or I'm changing a statement. It would be in addition to that what I've wrote here.
Okay, you are talking about things that you may not have written. Let's focus on those that you have actually written.
Yes.
As you read the statement this morning, did you think, paragraph 8 is not conveying the, I'm just giving 8 as an example here.
Yes.
Paragraph 8 is not conveying what actually happened? Or did you, as you read the statement, take the view that everything I have read is actually accurate? I don't like what appears to be sitting on the fence, and you'll then follow.
Wherever it's
Wherever it suits you, exactly.
Yes.
Exactly. As you read the statement, were you of the view that everything you say there is accurate?
Yes, according to my understanding, I might be subjected to the correction in terms of the dates. And, I'm not good with dates.
But let's leave out the dates. Yes, I also wouldn't remember when certain things that happened in 2022, 23, even 25.
Yes, correct.
I would not remember the dates on which they happened. So perhaps let's leave that out. But in terms of content and substance, as you read, you did not see anything that does not reflect what actually happened correctly, or what you said, or what exchanges you were involved in inaccurately. Everything, according to you, as you read, was accurate.
Yes.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Shaskelson.
Can I just get clarity on a couple of issues in this statement? The first is at page 1340. And this is it's in relation to the Luxo card. So paragraph 20 in the preceding page, you say that you've been called by Mr. Matlala about the card. And then 21, you say, at the time he called me, I was busy, so I could not take it to him or let him come to the office as I was not there. And then 22, he never called me again that day. I think after 3 minutes, he called me again, telling me that he needs the card again, urgent, as he was going to meet Deputy President Mashatile, brackets Paul, then meet General Sabia after that. I then took pictures of the said card. It was black in color, then sent it to his phone. That was the last time I spoke to him. Can you just clarify what's going on in paragraph 22? You say he didn't call me again that day, but then you say after 3 minutes he called you telling him he needed the card urgently as he was going to meet Deputy President Mashatile and then meet General Sabia. Can you just explain, did he call you again that day?
Okay.
Was the call about General Sabia and Deputy President Mashatile that day?
Okay. if I understood you correctly, you're asking if was the call about the card or the call about Deputy President Mashatile and Sibia, if I'm not mistaken, is how I heard you.
Well, the first question is, was the call on the same day he had called you about the card? So let's maybe answer that first, and then we can get to the second question.
Okay. Maybe to rectify the statement, I might have made a mistake when I say he called me. I called him when I found the card. That's rectification number one. And then this call that he made, it was a call now after I informed him that I found the card. So now, the reason that he called me on this particular day is because he wanted to use that card. And then he further stated that he was going to meet with General Sibia and Paul Mashati.
I mean, we'll come back to who called whom, but what your written statement says is he needs the card urgent as he was going to meet Deputy President Mashatile and General Sibia. Was your understanding that he needed the card in relation to his meeting with the Deputy President and General Sibia?
I would not want to be on his mind at that particular time. I thought he wanted that card because of it belonged to him, but I did not see the picture of how is he going to use his card.
But what you said was he needs the car urgently, or urgent, as he was going to meet Deputy President Mashatile and then meet General Sibia after that. How did you understand the relationship between his urgent need for the card and the fact that he was going to meet the Deputy President and then General Sibia? I mean, you're the one who's linked those two.
I'm the one who's what?
Your statement links those two. It says he needs the card urgently as he was going to meet Deputy President Mashatile and then meet General Sibia after that. So I want to understand, why was the urgency related to the meetings with the Deputy President and General Sibia?
I would not know why that he needs the card because he was going to meet the Deputy President and General Sibia. My understanding at the time, he wanted his card and it was in my possession.
But was he the one who said to you, I need this card urgently as I'm going to meet Deputy President Mashatile and then General Sibia after that? Were those his words?
That's his words.
Then you say you called him, not he called you. That's an error in the statement. But if we look at the statement, it's not consistent with that being an error. Let's start at paragraph 20 at 1339. You say, on my arrival, that's at Mr. Matlala's farm, I was found by him at the gate. Then I took the jet ski away. But later on that week, he phoned me telling me he is looking for the card and driver's license that he left in the dash of the jet ski. So you're saying he didn't call you, you called him. Had you found a driver's license in the jet ski?
That's correct.
But you haven't previously mentioned finding a driver's license in the jet ski in any of your other statements or your testimony here.
I didn't mention it because I never thought it was important, or maybe it was an error, because now the main thing was a Luxo card. But not that I did not mention the bank, the driver's license, because of it wasn't there.
If we go to your next paragraph, paragraph 21, you say, by the time he called me, I was busy, so I could not take it to him or let him come to the office as I was not there. Now, you're saying when he called you about the bank card and driver's license, you were busy, so you couldn't take it to him or let him come to the office as you were not there. But if you called him, why would you call him when you were busy? Surely you would call him when you were not busy.
Remember, there were various calls. When I found the card, when now he's making a follow-up about the card. And then even if I was busy, I knew that he wanted to come and collect the card. I would have phoned him.
But you'll recall when we dealt with the topic of the card last week, your testimony was that when you found the card and when you found the card, you were at Hartbeespoort.
That's correct.
And is that what you were referring to in paragraph 21 when you said, I was busy, so I couldn't take it to him?
Sergeant Nkosi?
Oh, I still maybe, I thought he was still...
No, that was the end of my question. Is that what you were referring to in paragraph 21 when you say I was busy, so I couldn't take it to him?
So you're saying I was referring to my play in Hartbeespoort Dam?
Yes, were you busy at Hartbeespoort Dam when this call happened?
No, I can't remember where I was busy with.
But in the statement, this is the call where you are alerted to the fact that he has, that the card is in the jet ski. Was there not a call of that nature from Hartbeespoort Dam?
Okay. Maybe to clarify, he did not want that card on the very same day when I phoned him that I found the card.
When did he want it?
After I've alerted him, I can't remember when, but it's somewhere here that when he phoned.
Because you see, there was certainly a point at which he wanted the card urgently, because you mentioned that in paragraph 22, where you say, I think after 3 minutes, he called me again, telling me he needs the car urgent as he was going to meet Deputy President Mashatila and then meet General Sabia after that. So when did the urgency arrive on his side?
I would not know.
Well, if we read on So you've just recorded his conversation with you. He called me again telling me he needs the card urgently as he was going to meet Deputy President Mashatile and then meet General Sabia after that. I then took pictures of the said card. It was black in color, then sent to his phone. So are you saying there that the pictures that you took were on immediately after being told by him that he needs the card urgently? Is that what you're saying, or is it possible that there was a gap between those two stages of the process?
Interpreter.
Let me start again so that you can interpret as I go along. If we read paragraph 22, you say, he called me again, telling me that he needs the card urgent.
Paragraph 32 uyowafonela futhi 22 ekutshela ukuthi ke ufuna ikhadi ngokusheshsha ama-agent.
As he was going to meet Deputy President Mashatile, then meet General Sabia after that.
Njengoba eyohlangana no-Deputy President Mashatile and emva kwaloko eyohlangana no-General Sabia.
I then took pictures of the said card. It was black in color, then sent to his phone.
Wabusutwebula ikhadi leyo wathatha ifoto yakhona imnyama ngombala wabusuyithumela kuye.
Now, are we to understand that it was immediately after he told you that he needed the card urgently that you took the pictures of the card and sent them to his phone?
Uthi kusemva ukuthi akufonele athi udinga ikhadi njengoba uthatha isithombe umthumela yona.
Was it immediately after? Was it immediately after he told you that he needed the card urgently that you sent those pictures?
Uthi kusemveni ukuthi akufonele akutshela ukuthi udinga ikhadi njengoba wena sowuthatha ifoto yakhona umthumela yona use ngaleso sikhathi nje.
Kunjalo.
That's correct.
Because then we can date this conversation, because we know that you sent him the pictures of the card on the 23rd of December. Sorry, interpreter, can you interpret and then I'll go on? So then we can date this conversation with him, because we know that you sent the pictures of the card on 23 December 2024.
I didn't get the first word.
So date, we can date this conversation.
Uthi bangadata leyo information opane ngayo yekhadi noma inkulumo leyenu enaba nayo ngaleso sikhathi. Missing.
I think maybe what you are trying to say is because we have the WhatsApps and we know from the WhatsApps when he sent the photo to Mr. Matlala, we can get the date from there.
Yes, Commissioner, that is what I'm trying to say.
Like the first part where you said we can date the photo was not very clear. So maybe what you mean by we can date, you can refer to the WhatsApps and it can make more sense.
Well, the WhatsApp show that you sent this card, the picture of the card, on the 23rd of December 2024.
WhatsApp yakho kuyakhombisa ukuthi ke uthumele ifoto leyo yekhadi nge-23 zaka December kuye.
Ngiyavuma.
I agree.
So if that was immediately after the conversation where Mr. Matlala said he needed the card urgently because he was going to see Deputy President Mashatile and General Sabia, we know that conversation would have happened on the 23rd of December as well.
Futhi-ke leyo nkulumo owaba nayo uMatlala ukuthi actually udinga ikhati ngokuthi uyohlangana no-Deputy President Mashatile emva kwalokho ayohlangana nayo uGeneral Sibiya. Singathatha ukuthi-ke leyo nkulumo yayenzakala ngaleyo langa leyi-23 zakaDisemba. That's correct.
Why didn't you mention this call from Mr. Matlala where he mentioned his urgent need for the card as he was going to see Deputy President Mashatile and General Sabia in your statement or in your evidence up to now?
So kungani ungakuchazanga lokho ukuthi-ke kule nkulumo ukuthi-ke wayedinga ikhati ngokushesha ukuthi uyohlangana naye uDeputy President Mashatile kanye noGeneral Sibiya uma uthula ubufakazi bakho?
Kukhona lapho ngiyibhale khona kule evidence engiyisubmitile ngaphambi kweCommission, hayi kule statement.
It is mentioned somewhere in a statement that I've submitted to the Commission.
We can go to that statement. It's in the statement file. And you deal with the card starting at the bottom of page 1, paragraph 5. And that runs through to page 2, paragraph 7. But there's no mention of a conversation about Mr. Matlala going off or needing the card urgently because he's going off to meet the Deputy President.
Sorry? I can see it.
So my question is, why did you not mention this?
Ngabe kuyi-human error,
It could be a human error.
kodwa ngisaphinda ngithi lokho engikubhale la iloko ngakuzwa uMr. Matlala leso sikhathi.
I can say that what I have stated there, that is what I heard from Mr. Matlala at that time.
Eish, interpreter, I think it's another problem again here.
Maybe if you repeat your answer and we can interpret it again.
Phinda umbuzo. Phendula impendulo.
Kungabe ngingakubhalanga mangibhala lokho engikubhale lapha, kodwa engisaphinda namanje ngithi lokho engikubhale nalapha iloko kwenzeka leso sikhathi okwakushiwo Mr. Matlala.
I can say what is not on the statement and what is on the statement is what I heard from Mr. Matlala at that time.
When you say logo engibhale lapha ukhuluma nge-statement leso sibhale ngesandla.
Kunjalo.
So that's what it refers to the statement that I've written, handwritten.
Commissioners, I think maybe my interpreter can listen clearly to Mr. Shackleton when he refers to the message to me, then it's clear. When I take back the message to him again, because I feel that maybe he's misinterpreting me.
Yeah, please render your answer again. And when you talk about what you've written, so to be sure of the distinction you are drawing, please explain your statements with reference to the one that is handwritten and the one that is typed. And then your answer will be clearer. And I hope that Ms. Siritsane will then be in a position to convey your answer better. Do you want to give your answer again? Or do you want the question to be repeated for you to answer again?
Yeah, I think it will be fair on my side to yes.
Get the question again.
Yes.
Yes, Mr. Shaskalsi.
The question is why in the typewritten statement that was the only statement you submitted to the commission, did you not mention the fact that Mr. Matlala had said he needed the card urgently because he was going to meet with the deputy president?
Kule statement esibhalwe ngesandla.
No, the typed statement. Reference by Mr. Shaskalsin is to the typed statement.
Well, let's start. The typed statement is the only statement you submitted to the commission. Is that correct?
Ukuthi istatement esithayipiwe yiso kuphela osubmite ku commission. Kunjalo.
Unjalo.
That's correct.
Now, why in that typed statement did you not mention that Mr. Matlala said to you he needed the card urgently as he was going to see the deputy president?
Manje kuleso statement esithayipiwe kungani kungabhalanga ukuthi ke uMr Matlala wayedinga ikhadi ngokusheshsha ukuthi uyohlangana no deputy president Mashatile kanye no general speaker emva kwalokho.
Kungabe kube impazamo embhalweni or ekubhalweni kuyi-type statement ngakubalanga lokho.
It could be a mistake on a statement or when the statement is written that I omitted that.
Futhi ke engikubhale kule statement engibhale ngaso ngesandla akusho ukuthi siyamanga ngoba lokho angikufakanga la.
And again, on the handwritten statement, doesn't mean that it's a lie because I didn't mention that on the statement,
On the type statement.
on the type statement.
So what's in the handwritten statement in this regard is true.
Ukuthi okusestatementini esibhalwe ngesandla kuyiqiniso.
Ukuya ngale paragraph.
Just the statement that Mr. Matlala told you he needed the card urgently as he was going to meet the deputy president.
Ukuthi kule nkulumo yokuthi uMnumzane Matlala ufuna ikhadi ngokuthi uyohlangana no deputy president.
Kunjalo.
That's correct.
Now, why would you forget to mention something like that in your statement to the commission?
Kungani ukhohlwe lokho ukufaka kule statement osubmitile ku commission?
Uma nomunye umuntu yawayenza amaphutha kungabe ngikhohliwe ngaleso sikhathi mbe ngokufaka ngenhliziyo kanti ngokumbhalo ngokufakanga.
Everybody can make a mistake in writing, and maybe I thought I have written it just by where I was thinking, and I did not put it in.
It wasn't just in the statement, it was also when I questioned you in relation to the card and your conversations with Mr. Matlala relating to the card in the hearing. You didn't mention it there either. Is there a reason?
Akusinje estatementini lese noma estatementini kungekho nangale nkathi ubuzwa imibuzo azange ukusho lokho ukuthi ke uMnumzane Matlala wayefuna ikhadi njengoba ayohlangana nayo deputy president.
Ngisami kulawo magama wami ngophendula ekuqaleni.
I'm still standing on my answer.
you answer that it is the truth, but you just made a mistake in not mentioning it.
Amazwi akho ukuthi kuyiqiniso kodwa ukhohliwe ukukhulu ukukumenshina lo.
Kunjalo.
That's correct.
Is it not possible that you were trying to protect the deputy president by not mentioning it?
Akusetshenziswa ukuthi mhlambe wawuzama ukuprotect u-deputy president?
Cha.
No.
Well, let me take you through the various versions that you've given in relation to this card. If we take them chronologically, the first one is the handwritten statement. And I'll take you through all of the versions, and then I want to point out some contradictions that I'd like you to try to explain. The version in the handwritten statement is that in December 2024 or January 2025, Mr. Msibi's son asked you to go and fetch the jet ski from Mr. Matlala. You collected the jet ski from Mr. Matlala's farm. Later that week, Mr. Matlala asked you to look for a card and a driver's license in the dash of the jet ski. You couldn't take it to him because you were busy. You couldn't ask him to come collect it from the office because you weren't there. It implies that you had the card at the office. He wanted the card urgently because he was going to meet with the deputy president and then General Sabia. So you took pictures of the card and sent them to him. And that statement doesn't mention when the card was returned, but we do know that the pictures were sent on the 23rd of December. That was the first version.
Sergeant Nkosi, you confirm everything that Mr. Shaskal just...
I do confirm my...
Thank you.
The second version was in the statement that you gave to the Commission. In that statement, you didn't mention collecting the jet ski from Mr. Matlala's farm. You didn't mention a call from Mr. Matlala. You didn't mention Mr. Matlala saying he needs the card urgently because he's going to meet the Deputy President and then General Sabia. What you did say is at paragraph 5, you say you found the card on the 23rd of December in the boat of Mr. Msibi, and you notified Mr. Matlala that he left in the jet ski, not the boat. And you notified Mr. Matlala that he had left the jet ski, the bank card in the jet ski. That was all on the 23rd of December. You then mention that you have used the card previously to withdraw money on behalf of Mr. Matlala to pay for materials to refurbish his boat and the jet ski of Mr. Msibi that he was using, and also to buy the jet ski service kit. You can't recall the dates when you used the card to withdraw money, but that was way before 23 December. Now,
do you confirm this too, Sergeant Nkosi, and this relates to the typed statement that you've submitted?
I confirm, Commissioner.
Thank you.
And you also referred then to 2 WhatsApps from Mr. Matlala on the 5th and 21st of January, referring to plastic, which you said was a reference to the card. That was in paragraph 7 of your statement.
You confirm that as well.
Can you repeat that, Mr.?
In paragraph 7 of your statement, you referred to 2 WhatsApps sent by Mr. Matlala on the 5th and 21st of January, where he referred to the card as, quote, plastic, and he complained that the card had long been left at Mr. Msibi's place of abode. I can read the statement to you in your statement. I further aver that the plastic referred to on the WhatsApp's message dated 5 January 2025 and 21 January 25, he was requesting I return to him his card, averred above, as it was long left at Mr. Msibi's place of abode. You see that?
Yes, I see.
Now, there was no mention of these WhatsApps in your written statement. There was no mention in your written statement of your...
By written, you mean handwritten?
Handwritten statement. There was no mention of the fact that you had made withdrawals on the card to fix the boat and the jet ski. And there was no mention in the written statement that the card had long been at Mr. Msibi's place of abode. The third version was your first version in oral evidence. It was that you found the card in the jet ski on your way back from Mr. Matlala's farm, and you dated that trip back from Mr. Matlala's farm with the jet ski at approximately September 2024. And then your fourth version was another version in oral evidence.
Should we not deal with these one by one and get responses? Yeah.
Well, let me take you to your...
Perhaps the third version. And let's get a response.
I say, can you explain the circumstances in which you found it? Talking about the card. Was the jet ski at Hammanskraal when you found it? Was the jet ski somewhere else? You say, I found it on my way back. I say, on your way back? You say, to collect it, yes. On my way back to collect the jet ski. And I say, to collect the jet ski from where? And you say, from the farm where it was, at Mr. Matlala's place, Mr. Matlala's farm. So you found it on the way back from collecting it from Mr. Matlala's farm, and you have earlier in your evidence on the same day confirmed that you collected the jet ski in around September 2024. You recall all of that?
Good.
But when I took you up on that issue in oral evidence, you immediately changed your version, and then you said, actually, I found it at Hartbeespoort Dam. I found the card at Hartbeespoort Dam when I'd taken the jet ski to Hartbeespoort Dam. And that came later. I said, where were you when you found the card inside the jet ski? And you say, I was in the dam. Which dam? Hartbeespoort Dam. So there are a whole range of issues on which you've given fundamentally contradictory evidence in relation to this card.
I disagree.
Well, the first issue is, did you find the card in September, or did you find the card in December? You've said, on some occasions, you've said it was when you were fetching the jet ski or shortly thereafter, which would have been September. On other occasions, you've said it was on the day that you sent the pictures to Mr. Matlala, which we know to be the 23rd of December. And you have also said when you were in Hartbeespoort Dam, it would have been in December. So they're two different versions. One is September, one is December. Which one is it?
Firstly, I want to rectify the statement that you just made, that I said I found the card on my way back. One, I said I did not find it on my way back. I found it when I was in RTPS. On that one, I did not agree and said I found it when I was on my way back. As in now, I'm changing the statement that I've changed from finding it on my way back to finding it at RTPS. I did not admit to that.
Well, no, I'm not talking about admissions, but on two separate occasions, you've said that you found the card either on your way back from Mr. Matlala's farm in September or later that week. So the handwritten statement says it was later that week. It says, on my arrival, I was found by Mr. Matlala at the gate, then I took the card away, but later on that week, he phoned me telling me he's looking for the card. So the version in the handwritten statement is it was within a week of fetching the jet ski from Mr. Matlala's farm, which we know was approximately September. That wasn't the only point at which you said that it was in September. Your first answer in oral evidence when I asked when you found the card was you found it on your way back from collecting the jet ski from Mr. Matlala's place, which we know was in approximately September. So on two separate occasions, you've said September. On two other occasions, you've corrected that or tried to correct it and say December. That's the first contradiction. The second contradiction is how you found the card, whether you found it independently or whether you found it because you were called by Mr. Matlala. So in the handwritten statement, it was Mr. Matlala who alerts you to the existence of the card. And the handwritten statement not only says that, but then puts up a version which is only consistent with your being alerted to the existence of the card by Mr. Matlala. So if you look at page 1339, same paragraph that I have just mentioned from the handwritten statement, paragraph 20. On my arrival, I was found by Mr. Matlala at the gate, and then I took it away, in other words, the jet ski. But later on that week, he phoned me, telling me he is looking for the card and bank card and driver's license that he kept in the dash of the jet ski. By the time he called me, I was busy, so I could not take it to him or let him come to the office as I was not there. So it is very clearly in the handwritten statement, Mr. Matlala who's calling you and alerting you to the existence of the farm of the card for the first time. It's not you independently discovering the card and then calling Mr. Matlala. So that's the version in the handwritten statement. But in the typed statement, the version is different. It's that you found the card and you then called Mr. Matlala. That's the second big contradiction. The third big contradiction is where you found the card. In the handwritten statement and the written statement, you don't mention where you found the card. In oral evidence, you've given two different versions. The first version is on your way back. You found it yourself on your way back from Limpopo, where you fetched the jet ski. The second version was you found it when you opened the dash at Hartebeespoort Dam looking for the key of the jet ski when you were going to use it for the first time after you had returned it. So those are two contradictory versions. It's a third contradiction in your story of the card.
Do you want him to comment?
Well, ultimately, I'm going to ask you to comment on all three contradictions. I've already asked you to comment on the failure to mention Mr. Matlala's linking of his urgency to recover the card with his visit to the Deputy President. So let's take those contradictions one by one. The first contradiction is when you found the card. Was it September or was it December?
December.
Why then did you twice give a version that could only be consistent with having found the card in September? That the card was found within a week of either on your way back from returning from Mr. Matlala's farm or later in that same week. Why do we get those two versions from you, one in your handwritten statement, one in your oral evidence?
As I've stated that it might have been a human error.
But it's an error that is repeated. It's not a once-off error. It's an error that's repeated. It first appears in the handwritten statement, and then it repeats itself in the oral evidence. Are you saying it's just an unfortunate error that was repeated twice?
That's correct.
The second contradiction is whether you were alerted to the card by Mr. Matlala or whether you found it independently yourself. In your handwritten statement, you say that Mr. Matlala called you and said, "I'm looking for my card and my driver's license that I keep in the dash." In your oral evidence, it's you who found the card without any intervention by Mr. Matlala. Which is correct?
On that part, I did not contradict myself. I said I phoned him first when I found the card. Then from there, he made the follow-ups.
So it's you found the card before Mr. Matlala had told you about its existence?
That's correct.
But then why then in the handwritten statement do you speak so clearly and repeatedly about Mr. Matlala calling you and asking you about the card that he left in the dash?
It was a follow-up call from Mr. Matlala. I have phoned him first to let him know that I found the card.
But that's not what you say in your statement. You say that Mr. Matlala phoned me, telling me he is looking for the card and driver's license that he left in the dash of the jet skis. He wouldn't say he's looking for it if he knew that you'd already found it and had told him where it is.
As I've said, that it might have been a human error on my side.
So that's a second error in this handwritten statement. The third error, or the third contradiction, is where you found the card. given a version in the handwritten statement. Well, you gave a version in oral evidence that you found the card on your way back from Mr. Matlala's farm, and then you changed that evidence and you said, no, well, actually it was when I took the jet ski to Hartebeespoort Dam for the first time after I had returned it to Mr. Msibi's house. Which one was correct?
I did not say it. You said it. I was rectifying you that I did not find it on my way back. I found it when I was in Hartebeespoort. I'm not the one who said I found it. You are the one who said that.
No, Sergeant, was you.
No, it was not me.
No, I've got a transcript of your evidence. I said, was the jet ski at Hammanskraal when you found it? Was the jet ski somewhere else? Your answer was, I found it on my way back. I say, sorry, on your way back? You say, to collect it. Yes, on my way back to collect the jet ski. I say, to collect the jet ski from where? And you say, from the farm where it was at Mr. Matlala's place. And then you say, and so I say, you found the card in the jet ski? Yes. Was this when you collected the jet ski to bring it back to Hammanskraal? That is correct. And then I say, but that would have been in September, not December. And at that point, you change your version and say, well, actually, it was at Hartebeespoort Dam. You were the first one to mention that you found the card in the jet ski on your way back from Mr. Matlala's farm. I hadn't the faintest idea that that was the case.
That is not what I've said.
Well, the record will speak for itself on that regard. And if needs be, we can play back the recording to you. You were the first one to raise that you had found the jet ski on your way back from collecting, sorry, you had found the card on your way back from collecting the jet ski from Mr. Matlala's farm. Then in your handwritten statement, you don't mention anything about having previously been authorized by Mr. Matlala to use the card to draw cash to make repairs and the like. Why didn't you mention that in your handwritten statement?
I don't know why I have not mentioned that. But I remember going back to that statement that I've said that I might have mistakenly thought that I wrote it here, but it was all in my mind.
You see, I have my own theory about what that card was about. My theory is that that card was given to you by Mr. Matlala as a means of allowing you to draw cash from Mr. Matlala's accounts. In other words, essentially to pay a bribe either to you or to General Sabia through you. And that the reason for all of these contradictions is that you're trying to work out a version that would plausibly explain your possession of the card in innocent terms. Or what's your answer to that?
My answer to that is false again. One, Mr. Matlala had no reason to pay the so-called bribe to me via card. One, to elaborate on that, I did not have anything or means to make nor to push Mr. Matlala to pay bribe on me. I was not investigating him. I did not do him anything or any favors. The only thing that I did, it was only these jet skis and the boats. 2, I don't know what kind of bribe will be enough for General Sibia to be out on a card, according to say it was a bribe from Mr. Matlala to General Sibia via me. If it was a bribe, I don't think that maybe I would be so dumb to let the paper trail follow me if it was a bribe. Because of automatically, if it was going to be investigated, I was going to be caught that indeed it was a bribe for General Sibia. So I totally disagree with your statement.
Well, let's take your last explanation. If we assume that the impalas that Mr. Matlala delivered to General Sibia were a bribe, that was a bribe that was delivered through arrangements that were made through you. Is that not correct? If we assume that it was a bribe, just make that assumption.
I would not even comment on the bribe issue. No.
But the impalas that Mr. Matlala arranged to be delivered to General Sibia's home are impalas in respect of which the delivery arrangements were made through you. Mr. Matlala sent you messages, you forwarded them on to General Sibia, you had calls with General Sibia, you came back to Mr. Matlala, and that's how the delivery was done. No contact between Mr. Matlala and General Sibia, but contact between Mr. Matlala and you and General Sibia. You recall that?
I recall that.
Now, and we saw in relation to Tswani this modus operandi of people not wanting to be seen talking to each other or doing transactions with each other, with intermediating their communications through you. We saw that repeatedly with the CFO and General Dlamini. You recall that?
I distance myself from that statement you made that people don't want to be seen communicating with other, and then they communicate through me. No.
Well, I want to put it to you that that's what we saw in Tswani. You can dispute it, but I'm going to put it to you. Are you just disputing it?
Yes, I'm disputing.
You see, it seems to me that this is another example of that modus operandi, that if Mr. Matlala and General Sibia don't want to be seen communicating with each other, and communicating with each other in relation to money that Mr. Matlala will pay to General Sibia, they would probably have made arrangements to structure their dealings with each other through you. What's your answer to that?
No, that is your version, not mine.
Well, let's see. Let's go to the bank transactions on that card. And if we go to page 1325, you'll see that between the 10th and the 12th of December on that card that you say was in the jet ski dash, there were cash withdrawals. It says ATM cash starting at 10 December 4,000 on 10 December, another 4,000 on 10 December, another 2,000 on 10 December, 4,700 on 11 December, 4,000, another 4,000 on 11 December, another 3,300 on 11 December, another 4,000 on 12 December, another 4,000 on 12 December, another 4,000 on 12 December. If you add all of those up, you get to 37,000 rands on the 10th, 11th, and 12th of December. Now, if your version that the card was in the jet ski that you collected from Mr. Matlala's farm in September is correct, we know that you had the card in your possession on 23 December when you took a picture of it. So that card was either sitting in the jet ski for 3 months before something strange happened and somebody managed to withdraw cash on it on 10, 11, 12 December, 37,000. Or, and I put it to you that this is much more likely, you had it in your possession not just on the 23rd of December, but over that entire period when you collected, since you collected the jet ski in September. And so that those withdrawals would have to have been done by you. What's your answer to that?
No.
So how do you explain these withdrawals on the card on 10, 11, 12 December? Who would have had access to that card on 10, 11, 12 December?
I would not know.
Well, you must know because you had the card in your hand on the 23rd of December. Are you saying that you didn't have it? When are you saying it first came into your possession?
Okay. On that particular day that I had the card with me in December, it was not the first time coming across the card. But in December, the card was on the jet ski. And I also confirmed that even in my statement, I stated that there are things that I used with that card, with the permission of Mr. Matlala, to buy the boat seats, boat cover, and service kits for the jet ski and the boat.
But you're not answering the question, Sergeant Nkosi. On the 10th, 11th, and 12th of December 2024, there are ATM cash withdrawals reflected in the statement. Was it you who made those withdrawals?
I can remember, Commissioners. One, I've got no reason to lie about it. I had the card with me, and I used to use it maybe 3 or 4 times.
But you accept that it was not with Mr. Matlala. It was either in the jet ski or with you on the 10th, 11th, and 12th December 2024.
No, it was not with me.
It was with Mr. Matlala.
Yes.
But how could it be in Mr. Matlala's possession on the 10th, 11th, and 12th December if your consistent version across all of your explanations is that the card was found in the dash of the jet ski? You'd collected the jet ski, returned it to Mr. Msibi's house in September. So if that's where the card was, how could Mr. Matlala have used the card to make withdrawals from 10 to 12 December?
I don't know.
You don't know.
Yes, I don't know.
You see, I don't think it, I put it to you that it is extremely improbable, if not impossible, for Mr. Matlala to have used a card that was in the dash of the jet ski when you collected it in September, and that he was still looking for in December. How on earth could he have used that card to make withdrawals from 10 to 12 December? What, I mean, how? Give me, give me a suggestion that suggests that this would be possible. How would it have happened?
But if you see there, according to me, on the 10th, the 12th, there was money withdrawn, there was money. There was orders made on the 13th, 14th December. Many statements withdraw from the card. And it was done through, he said, VM Matlala. So I can't comment on that, what really happened with that card.
No, I mean, one does see FNB app transfers from VM. Now that I can understand. Mr. Matlala will have an app on his phone that will enable him to access money in the account to transfer or to make payments. But ATM cash withdrawals, you need the card.
Yes.
And those are the ones that I'm interested in. Those are the ones that happen at a time when I don't see how Mr. Matlala could have been in possession of the card.
Do you want to answer, Sergeant Nkosi?
I mean, do you see how he could have been in possession of the card?
I don't know. Sorry for the confusion, I did not understand.
You see, if we go back to the chats, it seems to me, sorry, Chair, I see we've run past 11. Maybe we can pick it up after tea time.
Let us adjourn and resume at 11:30. Let's adjourn.